morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. We'd like to welcome you to DoubleTree Hilton, where we will have the 8th workshop of the Energy Management Action Network. Thank you again for being here. And for most of you, maybe welcome to Jakarta for our Japanese participants and speakers. Today, we'd like to talk about the recognized energy management best practices and award programs for best practices. But before we do, we're obliged to invite the hotel to explain about their safety guides in these buildings. Please, Pak. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to DoubleTree by Hilton, Jakarta, Diponegoro. Before I say thank you for your choice of our hotel to hold event today. Ladies and gentlemen, please familiarize yourself with nearest exit that we have. In the event, at the moment, we are in the Makara 2 ballroom, as we have the emergency exit door behind all of you to lead assembly point located just right after ballroom entrance. Ladies and gentlemen, we have fire detection system and fire command center that monitor 24 hours with emergency response team. In the event alarm goes off, please do not panic and stay calm. The emergency response team will check to the location, and then if you hear continuous alarm with evacuation announcement from public address system, please proceed to the nearest exit to lead assembly point. Today, we don't have any fire drill. Thank you and have a nice meeting.
Thank you to DoubleTree Hilton Hotel for the explanation. I would like to apologize because for those of you who use the interpretation service, the channels for Indonesian is number 1 and for English is number 2. You have the devices with you when you enter the room. Next is that we'd like to announce as well that we have distributed the workshop survey or questionnaires to you. And please remind yourself that the questionnaires should be returned back to the receptionist desk outside this room. So before we continue, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Mr. Jiro Sogawa, the Managing Director of ECCG. Please, Mr. Sogawa, take your place on the stage.
Thank you for your kind introduction. Unfortunately, from a person from EMAK has not come back team, but we should start. So anyway, Honorable Ms. Ida Lestari, the Deputy Director MMR of Republic of Indonesia. Honorable Mr. Christopher Zamora, Manager of ASEAN Center for Energy. And Honorable Ms. Sayaka Shishido, Assistant Director, International Office of METI, Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, selamat pagi, selamat datang. Nama saya, perkenalkan, nama saya Jiro Sogawa, Managing Director of Energy Conservation Center Japan. The Energy Conservation Center Japan, ECCJ, is the core organization responsible for promotion of energy efficiency and conservation and has been contributing to the great improvement of energy efficiency in all the sectors. In Japan and also ASEAN countries, China, India, Russia, and so on. For many years, almost 40 years. This year, ECCJ is in charge of organizing EMAK Workshop under the sponsorship of METI, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, Japan. EMAK stands for Energy Management Action Network. EMAK was established in 2009 to promote the improvement of energy efficiency and conservation in industrial and commercial sectors under IP, the International Partnership for Energy Efficiency Cooperation. The objective of EMAK is to contribute to dissemination of energy management best practices and establishment of network regarding EE&C, including policymakers, practitioners such as energy managers, and so on. This time, we focus on introduction of energy management best practices from Japan and Indonesia, and discussion of our programs to disseminate the best practices. This EMAK workshop became very fruitful with invitation of great speakers from Indonesia and Japan, namely Mr. Takamitsu Yasukochi from Panasonic, Professor Masaaki Banai from Mie University, and Mr. Budi Utamo from Apartment Center Residence Supong, and Ms. Keiko Kurosawa from FD, Mr. Koisao Fatim from Inda Kiat Pulp and Paper, Ms. Anis Elnani from Petrokemia Basic. Furthermore, you will get useful information of energy management best practices in Indonesia and Japan. Furthermore, we will have panel discussion on our programs to promote energy efficiency and conservation in discussion session. You will get also useful information from distinguished panelists, Ms. Gita Restani from EMAK, Mr. Rio Shitonga from ASEAN Center for Energy, Mr. Akira Ishihara and Mr. Yasushi Tanaka from ECCJ. We deeply appreciate their participation and contribution to this workshop. I believe that this workshop will be beneficial to all the participants here, and I expect that workshop ending success. In closing of my address, I would like to express my sincere appreciation for all the support from MEMR Indonesia, ASEAN Center for Energy, and of course METI Japan, and all the interested organizations. Saya mengucapkan banyak terima kasih atas kedatangan kehadiran bantuan pertolongan Anda hari ini. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Jiro Sugawa. That was a quite impressive Indonesian you have there. Now we'd like to welcome Mr. Christopher Zamora from ASEAN Center for Energy to deliver his welcome speech.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nanda, for the kind introduction. Honorable Ms. Gita Listani, the Deputy Director from the Directorate General for Energy Conservation and Renewable Energy under the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources of Indonesia. Honorable Mr. Jiro Sugawa, the Managing Director of the Energy Conservation Center of Japan. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning to all of you. Apa kabar? Baik? On behalf of the ASEAN Center for Energy, I am very honored to welcome you all to the 8th IP EEC Energy Management Action Network, EMAK, here in Jakarta, Indonesia. And allow me to say salamat pagi to all our Indonesian participants and ohayo gozaimasu to our Japanese friends and colleagues. First of all, allow me to express our sincerest thanks and appreciation to the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources of Indonesia for hosting this important workshop. Specifically, I would like to register our appreciation and thanks to the excellent preparation and arrangement made by the Directorate General of New and Renewable Energy and Energy Conservation, an agency under the MEMR. We also would like to say thank you to the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry of Japan, METI, and to our Japanese partner, the Energy Conservation Center of Japan, led by Mr. Jiro Sugawa. Honorables, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are not familiar with the ASEAN Center for Energy, allow me to say a few words. ACE is an intergovernmental organization established in 1999 by the 10 member nations of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. ACE plays a central role in the ASEAN energy cooperation arena. And there are 3 critical roles that we play in this energy cooperation. First, ACE serves as an energy think tank to assist the ASEAN member states by identifying and surfacing innovative solutions for ASEAN's energy challenges and policies. Second, ACE serves as the catalyst so that we would be able to provide capacity building and to be able to assist the ASEAN member states in the development of their energy sector. And the third role of ACE is to serve as the knowledge hub. ACE works closely with energy authorities and ministries in the 10 AMS, which we call the subsector networks and the specialized energy bodies. We also work with the ASEAN Secretariat, and we work closely with dialogue partners, international organizations, and the private sector. And together, these energy bodies implement the ASEAN Plan of Action for Energy Cooperation, which serves as a blueprint for better cooperation towards enhancing energy in the region, keeping the region's development sustainable and environmentally friendly is an important concern of the ASEAN's energy sector. Honorable ladies and gentlemen, the ASEAN Center for Energy is very pleased to have this workshop today. The IPIC EMAK is an initiative under the umbrella of the G8 economies and the 16 members of the G20 economies, the objective of which is to promote collaboration on energy efficiency and conservation, particularly in the industry sector. In ASEAN, energy efficiency and conservation is one of the program areas under the ASEAN Plan of Action for Energy Cooperation 2016 to 2025, and I would like to call it in short, APAEC. APAEC is a series of guiding policy documents to support the implementation of multilateral energy cooperation to advance regional integration and connectivity goals. APAEC is one of the tools of the ASEAN 2025, Forging Ahead Together, which is a forward-looking roadmap that articulates ASEAN goals and aspirations to further realize further consolidation, integration, and stronger cohesiveness as a community. This is similar to what we have in the EU. ASEAN is working towards a community that is politically cohesive, economically integrated, and socially responsible. ACE is the responsible agency in charge in the overall coordination, facilitation, integration, monitoring, and evaluation, and to some extent in the implementation of the key APAEC strategic action priorities and key performance indicators. Going back to the APAEC, ladies and gentlemen, the ASEAN member states and regional energy bodies will pursue energy cooperation programs guided with a common theme of enhancing energy connectivity, market integration, and for us to be able to achieve energy security, accessibility, affordability, and sustainability for all. So this is our theme that we have to work on as a region so that we would be able to achieve the goals of the ASEAN Community 2025. The Energy Efficiency and Conservation Program of the APAEC has the objective to reduce energy intensity by 20%. This is a big order for us, very tall one, in 2020, based on 2005 level. In order for us to achieve that, the regional outcome-based strategies would include harmonization and promotion of energy efficiency standards in labeling on various kinds of energy equipment and appliances. Second, enhancing private sector participation, including the ESCOs, technical and management areas, including best practices, technology and knowledge transfer, and the ASEAN EE&C Awards. And we are very happy to see many people from the private sector. We are very pleased of your participation, and we look forward to having more this kind of event with the private sector participation. Our third strategy is to develop the green building codes for ASEAN so that we will be able to achieve a greener ASEAN by 2025. And the fourth one is to enhance the participation of financial institutions in EE&C development so that you would be able to access funds, so that you would be able to implement your projects. Ladies and gentlemen, we understand that EMAK is a forum for discussing policy issues related to energy management and sharing the best practices of each country, region, and industry. This is like a replica of ACE activities, but we are only focusing on the ASEAN member states. That's why we did not hesitate to partner with ECCJ on this EMAK workshop. ACE is ready to contribute to the goals of EMAK as a way to increase knowledge, skills, and quality of practice of energy managers globally, as well as their effectiveness through the more powerful network relationships and alignment with energy management systems, and extend the range, depth, and breadth of energy management policies worldwide to promote energy management among policymakers and industry practitioners. This is within the bandwidth of ASEAN leaders' aspirations of making ASEAN a global entity. Ladies and gentlemen, in this workshop, we are happy to see discussion on the energy management best practices and awards program, which was explained already by Mr. Kiro Sugawa in his speech earlier. ACE will have many information and best practices on our sleeves to share about the ASEAN Energy Awards. We have more than 16 years of experience in running the ASEAN Energy Awards, as it is Southeast Asia's highest reward for excellence in the field of energy that recognizes outstanding work for excellence, creativity, practicality, and dedication to a cause in the field of energy. Ladies and gentlemen, ASEAN recognizes the possible synergy and collaboration to support regional and global initiatives on energy management. On a broader note, and at a granular level, the long-term goal to see interactions and support between EMAK and ASEAN Energy Awards systems and programs linked to the goals of the APAEC for advancing regional integration and connectivity towards greener ASEAN community and achieving the target to reduce regional energy intensity of 20% by 2020 based on 2005 level. If you may allow, our target to reduce energy intensity in the long term is about 30% or 25% by 2035. In closing, honorable ladies and gentlemen, the ASEAN Center for Energy would like to express its sincerest thanks and appreciation to the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry of Japan for the generous support to the EMAK and to ECCJ for the implementation arrangement that make this event happening in Indonesia today. And of course, to the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources of Indonesia and to its agency on energy efficiency and conservation and new and renewable energy. And also, we would like to express our sincere thanks and appreciation to all the moderators, to all the speakers, and of course to the men and women of the ASEAN Center for Energy for the successful organization of this workshop. Finally, I wish you all a fruitful workshop and productive discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, this statement is delivered for and on behalf of the Executive Director of the ASEAN Center for Energy, Dr. Sanjayan Vilautang. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Mr. Zamora, for the beautiful welcome remarks. Mr. Zamora is the manager of APAEC, or the ASEAN Plan of Action for Energy Cooperation Program. Next, as you may have seen on the agenda, that we're supposed to have Ms. Farida Zen, the Director of Energy Conservation from Directorate General of New Renewable Energy and Energy Conservation Indonesia. Unfortunately, she's not available today. On her behalf, Ms. Gita Lestari will deliver a speech from the Indonesian Ministry. Please, Ms. Gita.
Honorable Mr. Christopher Zamora, APAEC Manager representing ASEAN Center for Energy, Honorable Mr. Jiro Sugawa, Managing Director of the Energy Conservation Center, Japan, Speaker, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to all of you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. At first, I want to convey Ibu Farida Z's sincere apologies for not attending this event today. She was supposed to deliver the keynote speech for today's event, but unfortunately, as a government institutions, early year is the busiest time in our agenda. So today, Ibu Farida is actually out of town to discuss our next year budget. So this year is just beginning, but she is with several colleagues of mine to discuss next year budget. So hopefully it went very well, and you have to bear with me for this for the whole day today for these workshops. So I would like to deliver her speech to the keynote speech for today. First of all, let us praise God for His mercy and grace so we can be here this morning at the 8th Energy Management Action Network EMAK Workshop on WTD Hotel. I would like to express my gratitude to Energy Conservation Center Japan, ECCJ, for supporting the Energy Management Action Network EMAK, one of the International Partnership for Energy Efficiency Cooperation's IPEC initiative that initiate today's workshops. I would like also to thank ASEAN Center for Energy for the cooperation in arranging this workshop. It is indeed a great honor and pleasure for me to deliver a welcome speech here. I'm pleased to see our stakeholders that have been supporting and participating in our past and current activities are here today. But I'm happy to meet and introduce myself to new acquaintances to share our experience in energy management, particularly in one of the programs, namely Energy Efficiency Awards. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as a developing country, Indonesia energy needs has an average growth of 6.3% per year, driven by population growth and economic development. Our needs is generally fulfilled by fossil fuels such as oil, natural gas, and coal, which are difficult to develop and limited in reserve, particularly for oil. On the other hand, we have been wasting valuable energy resources in demand sectors. The survey conducted by the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources indicates that the potential for energy saving in demand sector is around 10 to 30%. Sectors such as industry can have an average saving around 17% and 15% for building sectors. This saving can be achieved starting from, and among others, through energy management in both sectors. Indonesia is one of the earliest adopters of ISO 50001 energy management system. We believe energy management implemented in building and industrial sector can assist the actors to achieve and sustain energy efficiency effectively. The government regulation number 70/2009 has provided a framework to implement energy management, particularly for large energy users with energy consumptions more than 6,000 TOE. However, few incentive and insufficient access to information pose a challenge for the energy management implementations. An award activities in energy efficiency would not only acknowledge and give appreciations to the early and active participations of energy efficiency implementer, but also with adequate exposure can disseminate energy efficiency best practices to other stakeholders. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources has been organizing the National Energy Efficiency Award, or PEN, since 2012. Its original purpose is to provide steady and good quality participants in ASEAN Energy Awards. Thank you for your attendance in these workshops. I hope our discussion today will be fruitful and resulted in significant outcomes for the future energy efficiency and conservation implementations. Thank you for your kind intentions. Director of Energy Conservation, Jakarta.
Thank you, Ms. Gita. Ms. Gita will be one of the speakers in session 3, the last session, and she's the Deputy Director of Technical Guidance and Cooperation. We still have 2 more messages. They will be conveyed through video, and they will come from the International Energy Agency and the International Partnership for Energy Efficiency Cooperation. First, we would have Dr. Brian Motherway, the Head of Energy Efficiency Division of the International Energy Agency. The first 2 sessions will have a Q&A, and each session will have 3 speakers with 1 moderator. The first session will talk about energy management best practices in the commercial sector. The second is energy management best practices in industrial sector. And the last session will discuss knowledge to be shared amongst energy management award programs. We will end the day with a networking buffet, so we hope that
and greetings to you all in Jakarta at the EMAK Workshop. And in particular, selamat pagi to Ibu Farida and all our friends in the Indonesian government. It's a great pleasure for me to be able to say a few words to you at the start of your workshop on this very important topic. Many of you will know that the IEA's Energy Efficiency Division was set up just over a year ago in recognition of our increasing focus on the importance of energy efficiency and our belief that it must be central to energy policies of all countries. And I must say, in the past year, I am personally seeing a lot of increasing interest in energy efficiency. Whether it's governments trying to deliver their nationally determined contributions as part of the climate response in Paris, or whether it's countries focused on economic and energy growth for its citizens, on questions of competitiveness or security, energy efficiency features in all of those conversations and has a contribution to make. And we are certainly convinced that energy efficiency has a lot more potential to be part of energy policy in every country and to deliver the multiple benefits that energy efficiency can deliver. And energy management is central to that. Whether it's in industry or the commercial sector more generally, we are seeing in the last few years fascinating and exciting developments about the potential for strategic energy management, whether it's through ISO 20001, whether it's through some of the new emerging technologies, or just better practices of energy management generally. We are seeing fantastic gains and breakthroughs in energy efficiency progress, where savings being realized around the world are truly dramatic and very exciting. And a workshop like this is so important for sharing those stories and for increasing our shared knowledge and our collective ability to deploy energy management all across the world. One of the things that strikes me about energy efficiency is we truly do have much to learn from each other. In the last year, and all the countries that I have visited, when I see very different landscapes in terms of energy supply, different fuel mixes, different types of infrastructure, actually for energy efficiency, we all have more in common than we do in difference. And that's why the opportunity for countries of all kinds to learn from each other is very strong, and no more so in the topic of energy management. So I think the work that EMAK does generally, and this workshop we are holding today in Jakarta, is a very important conversation about what have we learned so far about energy management and how do we take that further. I want to say to you that the IEA and the Energy Efficiency Division in particular is your willing and enthusiastic partner. We very much believe in the work you are doing, and we want to help you with that. We want to collaborate with you in many ways. So if you are aware of more things that we could be doing or should be doing, please get in touch with us and continue this dialogue. So I wish you the best. Good morning, and greetings to you all about what have we learned so far about energy management and how do we take that further. I want to say to you that the IEA and the Energy Efficiency Division in particular.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is from Dr.
my name is
Benoit Legault from the International Partnership of Energy Efficiency Cooperation. He's the Executive Director.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Benoit Legault. I am the Executive Director of the International Partnership for Energy Efficiency Cooperation. I deeply regret to not be with you today in Jakarta to attend this workshop organized by EMAK. EMAK, the Energy Management Action Network, is one of the oldest task groups under the International Partnership for Energy Efficiency Cooperation. Today, you're going to hear a very important piece of EMAK strategy, the award scheme to promote best practices in energy management in industry and commercial sector. I wish you a very productive workshop with exchange of information on good practice between two important countries, government of Japan sponsoring this event, and Indonesia, a very important member of the G20 family. Once again, all the best, and I wish you a very productive workshop.
As well.